So in 1970, the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Were you there?
I was there. What I remember was Al Hurt. Is he a trumpet player? I think so. And then was Doc Severinsen there? They were both there. And they had a jazz, and it had a New Orleans flavor in New Orleans. So I remember that. That was cool. It was sort of a festive environment. I remember that we were riding down on an elevator, and later with the ownership of the Vikings, who the Chiefs were playing, and people commenting that the Viking ownership was very nervous about this football game. That, I'm a kid, so I'm not really noticing those sort of things. I remember the game. It was exciting. It was like, wow, is this really happening? And then I remember the game after he just hugged me and he said, we're so fortunate to have been here because we could have just as well lost the AFL championship game to those Jets, because that game was really close. There was a goal line stand in the red zone, what we call the red zone now, late in the game. And otherwise it would have possibly gone into a tie, and then who knows, from overtime. So he was very great, gracious about that. But we clobbered them. I think they were truly surprised, but it was just hard to believe. It really was. I mean, the AFL had won the Super Bowl the year before. The Jets had done that with Joe Namath, but still, it was like, this is the kind of stamp that says, we're here, we're for real.
Yeah.
You're going to have to deal with us.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
50 years later, 2020, the Chiefs win again.
They do.
What was that like?
Hard to believe.
Yeah.
Because we're sitting we had a large group of contingent. We had 40 people in 2 suites. We're all open together, large family, grandkids, some relatives, things like that. And we're down. It's about halfway through the third quarter or late in the third quarter. And it was like, this is not looking good. We're not moving the ball. We're not doing anything. So the game continues. We do make some plays. We get back in it, but it's still not over. And we're told, you need to go down to the field. We're like, no, we don't know. There's kind of this misgiving. No, you're going to be walking down to the field. So we get down on the field, getting ready to go out on the field, and the game's not over. And that's when Damian Williams caught a touchdown pass and ran it in. It was like, this is for real. This is going to happen. But the game was not over, because Garoppolo for the 49ers still had a drive in him, and I think we intercepted, and the game was definitely over. But it was just bedlam.
Yeah.
Is what I would describe it as. Just hugging each other, running all over the place, not really knowing where to go, that sort of thing. Confetti everywhere. It was surreal. It really was. It was beautiful.
What about the 50 years in between? And thinking they would win or hoping they would win, or what was that like?
I was just reflecting the other day with my oldest son, Lamar the third, that I said, do you remember we took you to a couple of Super Bowls? Because what we did was we wanted all the children to experience the Super Bowl, because we thought we're never going to know when the Chiefs get there again. It's never going to happen, because it was a long drought. I think it's like anything. You had some years where you thought you should have gone. I can remember a team under Marty Schottenheimer in the late 90s, may have been one of our best teams, didn't make it. One year, in 2003, we were undefeated. We went 9-0 the first 9 games, and we ended up 13-3, and we thought, oh, this is for real. This is a team. And so, and then there was a couple of teams with Coach Reed, who's been the head coach for a number of years now, that we thought, this is it. But, it was just finally, with obviously a great quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, and that sort of team chemistry is what a coach will tell you. The drought was broken. Now we've been to 4 AFC championship games in a row, and it's kind of like, okay, well, we're used to this. We're spoiled.